All right, we are live. How's everyone? Good evening, everyone who's watching this. You may actually quickly drop a hi so that I know where you are actually tuning in from. I am actually going live in two groups at the moment. So you're either watching this in my Facebook Ads Transformation group, or if you are either you're watching this in the Evergreen Campaign group. So nonetheless, I would like to really welcome you to join this training. It's got to be an hour or so. This kind of training is actually very loose, but nonetheless, I ensure you that you actually walk away with very, very useful insights. And what's up, Chiwai? Okay, yeah, Chiwai is the first one as usual. Welcome, welcome. So yeah, for those who are new to me, in fact, I have been doing this for a while right now. So in fact, for the past 5 weeks, I've been running quite a number of Facebook ads training, or so-called the live training on various topics. And if you want to find out more, if you want to see what I have discussed, you can either visit the group and look at all the previous videos if there's anything that interests you, or you can actually go to my YouTube channel, because I have created playlists containing all the live training that I did in YouTube playlist. So you can actually go there and watch quite a number of them already, including today. I think this is the number 6. This is the 6th live training. So I'm having fun because this is really something that I don't teach in my structured class. That's why I was discussing with my team the other day, what would be the angle for this kind of live training. Like today, the topic is about how to start Facebook advertising right. So in fact, to a lot of people, they are kind of worried about starting advertising on Facebook because they are not sure what to expect. Okay, and they do not know what will be the right thing to do or the wrong thing to do. Like last week, we talked about the mistakes that you must avoid, and the response was really good. Not just those who attended live and that joined me here, but because I've uploaded on YouTube, we got very, very good feedback from there. And I believe there is a market that I can actually help to fill. It's like a gap that I can fill. So I'm trying to do anything I can to actually help you strengthen more on the fundamental side. But of course, if you want to learn strategy, if you want to learn really how to run ads effectively, then I've got different courses available for you to join. But you can tell me, you can in fact share with me if there is any topic that you believe might be very useful for, let's say, new Facebook advertisers. What are the angles that you are kind of like not sure how to navigate? I will do my best to cover as much as I can. So yeah, so today we are going live in two groups. Either you're watching this in my Facebook Ads Transformation group or the Evergreen Campaign group. Nonetheless, this is really where we are going to do this. Basically, it's for very private, exclusive group for you guys. Okay, and then the benefit of joining live would be you can actually ask questions. Okay, so I am really excited to go through this learning with you. So today's topic is really about how to actually start right on Facebook ads. But nonetheless, I want to quickly give a shout out on this program that I'm having right now. Wait, let me actually do this. So if you're already inside the Evergreen Campaign group, then thank you so much for joining me. We're going to have a 2-day live training on this coming weekend. So it's going to be fun because I'm going to share with you exactly how I built Evergreen Campaign. When I say Evergreen Campaign, means evergreen, long-lasting, successful Facebook advertising campaign that once you set up, you can actually run for a very, very long time and still getting the optimum result for you, okay, without changing anything. It's totally possible, and I want to share with you how it's done. Okay, now welcome Intan. Thanks for dropping in. And if you're watching this live, let me know where are you tuning in from, so we can actually quickly get to know each other, right? So yeah, let's get back to the topic today. In fact, I really wanted to do this for a long time. In fact, today's training is very, very, very loose, as I shared with you just now. We do not have a very like comprehensive deck. As you can see here, we have only like less than 10 slides over here because we are really going on the really hitting on the problems or kind of like the right thing that you need to do. And I do a bit of an elaboration, and I'll probably give you some case studies. But of course, nonetheless, I would like to hear if there's any questions coming from you, that there'll be a very meaningful way to learn together. Okay, So yeah, starting right on Facebook advertising is very essential. But fundamentally, you need to know who are you listening to, or like who's here right now, right? So Chiwa was saying semi freestyle, no need a lot of slides. So go for it. Yeah, I mean that's kind of true, right? I don't really I'm not the kind of person, but for those who already know me, right? For those who have been with me for a while, you know that even my training, I have very, very minimalist kind of slide. You don't expect some slides coming from Jason Gunn that is full of words and all this kind of thing. I'm not that kind of person. So a lot of people ask me, Jason, can I have your slide? You don't need to, Probably you just go through the training. You can do it yourself. You can build a slides exactly or even better than mine, because some people commented on my slide. They say that, Jason, your slide is so bare. It's so boring. I was like, okay, so sorry about that, right? If you want some exciting slides, then you go to, Apple's keynote. Recently, they just launched the new iPhone, right? I mean, their slide will be very exciting, but mine, it's not about how beautiful it is, right? It's about how this can guide our conversation, right? Like Chiwa was saying, if my slide has got a lot of creative style, that's not me. I mean, that's very true, right? Not to say I'm not creative. It's just that I don't want to spend. I mean, this is me. I'm not saying about anyone else, right? I don't want to. I don't want to waste time on this thing. I want to focus on what kind of value that I can bring to you when we are having a discussion like this, right? So first thing first, as usual, I mean, because today we are broadcasting in different groups, and especially on inside the Evergreen Campaign group, a lot of you are actually new because we are running campaign to bring in people from all around the world right now. Remember, you can still invite your friends to join if you find this training useful and you want anyone of your friends to join us on the coming Saturday and Sunday training. Feel free to invite your friends to join this Facebook group. Okay. Eventually, we are going to allow everyone to come in. Basically, we want to help more people. That's the whole idea, right? But nonetheless, allow me to spend some time to introduce myself. This is not for Chiwai or Intan. You guys have been, knowing me for a while, but there are quite a number of people who are still new to me. So who the hell is Jason Gunn? So who is this guy to be here to talk to me about Facebook advertising, how to do it right or how to do it wrong? Like, who is this guy, right? So a quick introduction. I have been coaching businesses on Facebook advertising and business digitalization since 2010. So for the past 11 years, I have actually worked with more than 200 brands, specifically big and small from the region and from the the Asian region. I even got clients coming from the European countries on all that right now. But I actually stopped doing the agency part of work. I used to run an agency. So at that point of time, since 2010, I help brands to run campaigns. But the problem here is, I don't like the hustle. I don't like the I don't like the work. I mean, not to say I don't like the work. I don't like the so-called the setting. So I decided that, okay, I want to do training. So I only started training in 2016. So 2016 until now, I have learned with more than 5,000 individuals from 27 countries now, 27, 28. And I kind of lost count. I haven't gone back and checked, kind of thing. So basically what is happening here is, we actually, after I release myself or after I free myself, in fact, I actually stopped my agency part of business last year. So I don't take clients anymore, but I still maintain coaching clients. But because I stopped taking client for the management part, I actually free myself to take in more coaching clients that I get to work on a different kind of level or with different countries or audiences coming from different countries. Like, currently I have current active coaches. We have Malaysia, Singapore, Indonesia, Thailand, Korea, Turkey, the recent one, and Myanmar. It's quite interesting. So I actually get to learn a lot more. I actually get to learn a lot more from all these different cases, because then I realized that, look, like Philippines market is totally different from Malaysia's, right? And we all know that, markets like Singapore, Hong Kong, these are all, crunching markets. We have crazy competition in there. So running ads in these countries will be very, very challenging as well. So we learn about different countries. Like my recent client from Turkey, he's actually running ads in US country, the European countries. It's a real estate agent for people who want to buy property from overseas. I mean, people from other countries want to buy property in Turkey. So it's a very, very interesting, case that we are working on right now, and we learn tremendous thing. Like we realize that, look, the Russian market is totally different from the Kuwait market. I was like, seriously, I never thought that I'll be touching Facebook ads running in all these different countries. It's a very exciting journey. So this gives me a different kind of learning, and because of all this learning, I am able to actually structure my whatever I learn into trainings like this to share with you guys. So rest assured, whatever you are learning from, I mean, when you are learning from me, with me, I'm going to give you all these real cases. That's why for those who have been with me for a while, you know that the moment I crunch numbers, the moment I go in and look at different, like dissecting the metrics and all this kind of thing, I actually train myself with a different kind of eye. So if you want to learn how I analyze Facebook ads, I strongly recommend that you go to my YouTube channel and look for the Facebook Ads Analytics. That is a 1-hour class that I did on, explaining how I actually dissect Facebook ads metrics. It's a very meaningful one. So I think if you are interested to learn about that, then you should actually take a look at that training. So aside from my real life experience, my coaching clients and all that, I'm also a Facebook Blueprint certified professional. This is really a certification that we need to renew. Like we need to receive the exam and renew every damn year. So I've been certified since 2017. Recently, they changed the name, and I probably want to do this as well. It's no longer Facebook Blueprint Certified. They shortened it to make it Facebook Certified Professional. They only make the change, I think, last week. So, the moment you go to see my badge, right, I've got my badges. You can go to my website and click the link and go look at my badges. The badges is now Facebook Certified Professional. It sounds more like Facebook certified, right? Instead of like, some people may ask, what is that blueprint for? In fact, blueprint is Facebook's official learning program. So you can actually learn. There are many free courses in the blueprint program that you can actually learn. Some are written, some are video training. Then after that, once you have learned to a certain extent and you believe that you are ready, you can actually sit for the exam. So the exam is quite interesting. Like 2 hours crunch, you need to crunch about 200 over questions. It's quite crazy, but it's something that I do every year anyway. So Facebook certified means whatever I share with you are actually legit, and I won't give you the gray hat kind of hacks. Anything that is not allowed by Facebook, I won't be teaching you, and I'll only be teaching you things that like really I learned from the official Facebook learning program, because that's what I have been using for my coaches and clients and students alike for the past many years. I believe it's very simple. If you run ads on Facebook, in fact, I don't have this in my 5 points of how you should start right on Facebook, but make it very simple. If you're selling something that Facebook do not allow, then don't bother. Okay. If you're actually running ads for like some industry or businesses that Facebook do not allow, don't do that, because eventually they will track you now and disable your ad account, disable your profile and all this. I mean, why bother? Go and run ads in somewhere else that allows your kind of business, because very simple. Facebook is in the social network business. So when they are maintaining a social network like this, they need to make sure that they really take care of the people element. So they have a lot of so-called privacy policy, the advertising policy. If you are selling something, like a lot of people ask me, Jason, I have this, I'm selling this product, which is obviously not allowed by Facebook. How can I actually hack around? Now, if you find a way to hack right now, they will find a way to block you and track you sooner or later. So you will lose the ability to advertise, so don't bother. But if you are here and you are in for the business, you are really, want to actually build something using Facebook ads, and you're doing all the things legit, then you have no worry. All right. So don't do anything that Facebook do not allow. So that's the very simple rule number 0, right? So on top of that, I forgot to mention about this. I'm also a Facebook preferred marketing partner. So for those who do not know, Facebook preferred marketing, this is all for agencies. Okay, like when you are a Facebook ads agency, when you have a business manager that manages a lot of Facebook ad accounts from different clients, you can actually apply for Facebook marketing partner. So the basic layer, or so-called the first tier, is called the Facebook marketing partner. So once you become a Facebook marketing partner, you unlock certain types of so-called your access and all this kind of thing. Like you get certain support and so on and so forth. And once you reach certain threshold, you can upgrade. They will automatically upgrade you anyway to become a Facebook preferred marketing partner. Now, in order to become a Facebook preferred marketing partner, you need to actually maintain at least 325,000 US dollar in Facebook ad spend in the last 6 months. So for my business manager, all the coaches accounts combined, we spend more than $600,000 in the last 6 months. So that's where we are ranking right now. Now, after preferred tier, there is another tier called the Facebook Premium Marketing Partner, or Premium or Premier. Okay, that you need to spend about 2.3 or 2.4 million US dollar every 6 months. So I don't have any plan to go to that tier. But I heard, once you go to that tier, you have crazy different kind of privilege. You are able to, like, in fact, most of the ads don't need to go through. I was told, I have not tried doing that anyway, because I'm not at that level. But I was told that when you're a premium partner, you can actually, your ads will go all approved. There is no restriction on your ads. I was told, but I'm not sure whether how true is that. Yeah, so that's the tiering, right? So basically, we are at preferred for like close to 6 months now. So that's kind of like in fact, it's like an achievement to me as well. You see, for the longest time, since 2010 until 2020, right, I was running agency. I was helping clients manage their ads accounts and all this kind of thing. I never reached that kind of threshold. But the moment I stopped running ads for my clients, I get that kind of threshold, because a bit counterintuitive, right? The moment I reached that level, I was informed that I become a preferred partner. I was like, seriously? Yeah, because I free myself from doing the management side. I actually get to work with more clients who are, a little bit more interesting. So I'm grateful for the journey, to be very frank. It was a very interesting transformation in the last 1 year. Like, yeah, so basically, it's kind of like a very interesting journey for me as well. So, yep, so that's what we do. So what I do, that's who I am. So basically, yeah, just a bit of a, basic fundamental about who I am, so that you know who are you listening to. So let's go into the the first point over here. Now, if you want to start advertising on Facebook in the right way, okay, I'm going to tell you the right way is you really need to have a Facebook business manager. Now, how many of you are running ads on Facebook and you are running ads using your personal ad account? You see, when it comes to Facebook ad account, there are two types of ad accounts. One type of ad account is Facebook personal profile ad account, which means the ad account is directly created using your Facebook personal profile, and it's linked to your profile, and you run ads for your Facebook pages. Now, the other type of Facebook ad account is parked under the Facebook Business Manager ad account. Now, fundamentally, you will be able to do almost exactly the same thing on both ad accounts. However, when it comes to business manager level, you can manage all the assets in a more meaningful way. So let me explain to you what is a Facebook Business Manager. Now, Facebook Business Manager is like a container. Like I always like to say, it's like a container. So a Facebook Business Manager is like a container, a business entity that Facebook recognizes. So when you create a Facebook Business Manager, you need to create using your Facebook, your company registration number and stuff like that. So yeah, so when you become a business and when you verify your business itself, as in like the business manager, Facebook recognizes you as a business. So you can actually have multiple pages under the business manager. All right, you can have multiple pages. Like for my case, I think I manage more than about 30 or 40 pages under my Facebook Business Manager. So not all of them are by me, some are my clients, but the moment I'm able to have a business manager, I can have multiple pages. And at the same time, I can also create multiple ad accounts. So all the ad accounts that I create under the business manager are directly tied to the business manager level. So if you ask me if there's any different distinction, is really business manager has got a lot more features compared to an ad account. So ad account, remember, is just one element of a business manager. So inside business manager, you can have multiple people okay, which is you can create different kind of combination. Like let's say I want Jack to manage like page A and page B and ad account D. So I can just go give all these to Jack. While the other side, I want to give Nancy a different set of so-called like pages and ad accounts I can give them. So then within the business manager, you're also able to work with a so-called partners. Like the moment we work with our clients, our coaches, we don't really, I would never go into your business manager or your ad account as my personal profile. In fact, my personal profile is so private that, Chiwai, I even reject Chiwai's friend request. I'm not sure whether Chiwai is still here. Anyway, I don't approve friends, So and I'm a lot more active on my Facebook page level, right? So don't bother. Seriously. I don't do anything on my Facebook profile, right? Chiwai is still there. So yeah. So that's the really, and on top of that, right? Aside from a different way of structuring it, it's also a more legit way of running a business with Facebook. So Facebook really prefer to work with a business manager. And when you nurture your business manager for long term, okay, you are actually able to, like, they will track you based on your track record. Like for example, I'm just touch with a little bit here and there, right? My business manager, all the ad accounts that I do, all the assets under my business manager rarely got interruption. Rarely, like really rarely, because they can track. I've been using the business manager for like the donkey years now, so I have all these clean track records. So this is a way that you are building your credibility with Facebook. So inside the business manager, you can have multiple ad accounts, you can have multiple pixels, and you can have a lot of other things that you can do. In fact, if you want to dig more, right? In fact, you know what? We actually did one masterclass to teach you how to use every single tools and features inside the business manager. And it's a 4-hour training. It's serious shit. No joke. It's a 4-hour training. If you are really interested to find out more about business manager, then you can go to my website, tribeacademy.com, go to courses. You can find there's one course specifically. It's called the Facebook Business Manager Masterclass. I have a hell lot of things really sharing with you how to use each and every one right. So you really want to build a business manager if you are in Facebook ads game for long term, because that you are able to build different kind of relationship with Facebook. Yeah, but one thing I want to highlight here is business manager is not business suite. Now, this is a very, very big screw up by Facebook. You see, a lot of people, when they created and like when you are creating a new Facebook ad account and all this kind of thing, right? In the past few years, Facebook was really trying to push you to start your business suite. Now, what is the difference between business suite and business manager? Now, business suite is actually a method for you to manage conversations, meaning that the moment you have a business suite, you can link your Facebook and Instagram account, Facebook page and Instagram account, and then all the conversations, the comments, and all this kind of thing will come into the business suite. So you go to one place to manage all these conversations. But business manager has got a lot more things. But you see, the problem here is this: they all share the same subdomain. Like for example, if you have your business suite, okay, you go to business.facebook.com, you go into your business suite. But my case, I go to business.facebook.com, I go into my business manager. Screw up, right? And they are really the same thing. They are really the same thing. But just that, now, if you have a business suite, how do you activate your business manager? I actually forgot. I don't have a screenshot. I did that together with one of my coaches the other day. So what you can do is you go to your business suite, and then you go to look for some more settings or extra settings and all these kind of crazy thing, right? And then you look for anything that you can get like business settings. Now, the moment you click business settings, you find that it's quite hidden. You need to at least go 2 to 3 steps in, like more settings or extra settings or something like that. And then you can find like business settings. The moment you go to business settings, then it will open up a page that you can create a business manager. Now, business manager, remember, the word will say business manager. That's exactly where you should be. So the moment you create a business manager, then you can do a lot of things. But bear in mind, right? Something that you do not do, something that a lot of people tried, almost without a doubt that it's gonna be like you get flagged right away. Do not create a new Facebook profile to create a new business manager. I repeat, this is very important. Do not create a new Facebook profile to create a new Facebook business manager. Why? Because for some reason, business manager is like a very precious so-called feature or asset that you can claim right now. Even people out there are selling matured business manager for quite a sum, right? Like, I always receive calls from or emails from some different countries of businesses. They say that, oh, can I use your business manager to do all these stuff like that? Don't ever let anyone touch your business manager, because that's your business with Facebook. So you don't want to use a new profile to create a business manager, because almost without fail, the moment you do that, your Facebook profile will get restricted and your business manager will be restricted as well. Everything will be like restricted. Why? Because Facebook don't really allow new account to create business manager right now. So you yourself, you should use your own profile, like Jason Gan, TY, like Intan, anyone, like your Facebook profile that you have been maintaining for a while to create a business manager. Now, let me tell you this a little hack. So if you have created a business manager and you're no longer using it, you can actually change name if you want to maintain the same one. Now, if you want to create a new business manager, is it even possible? In fact, it is possible. You just go to businessmanager.com/overview. That's the link for you to create a new business manager. And then you create new using a new email from a new URL. Like, don't try to use like, jasongan@gmail.com kind of thing. If you go in, let's say, for example, now I'm using my TribeUp Academy website. I mean, that's in like the URL, my email, and then if I have another business, like let's say, businessb.com, like let's say I have a jason@businessb.com, although I'm using my profile, because remember, your business manager is linked to your personal profile. It has to be. But don't worry, nobody knows who is behind the business manager. Nobody knows, just like nobody knows who is running your ads. Nobody knows who is posting on your behalf of the Facebook page. The moment you go out, although you are linking your personal profile, nobody knows who is behind you. So that's a very, very important thing. So you want personal profile can create multiple business manager as long as it's of different email account. You want to go more secure way is you use the jason@tribeup.my. That's my exact existing one, and I can create a jason@tribeupconnect.com, for example, to create a new business manager, and then I can do jason@tribeupacademy.com to create another business manager. It is actually possible, but you have to always bear in mind as well. You don't create a lot of business manager because you want to toy the system or whatnot. That's not something you do. All right, so that's how you create multiple business manager. Now, here's the rule of thumb. I would always suggest that everything we have a backup. So when you have a business manager, okay, you need to make sure that you are not the only admin in your business manager. You need to have a backup admin. It's a very important thing that I teach in my 6-day challenge. Now, the reason why you want to have a backup admin, let me tell you the horror story. It happens to a lot of people anyway. Now, if you go out and post something funny, or even you post something good, but people hate you, and go and report your Facebook profile, and when your Facebook profile got restricted, you won't be able to go back and do all the things that you do, like running ads, like posting on your page, and all these kind of things. But your business cannot stop, right? Okay, so like if you want to continue running ads, at least if you have a backup admin, the backup admin can actually come in and help you do all the things, or you can borrow so-called their profile to come in to run your ads or do all these kind of things. So yeah, don't be the only admin. You got to have a backup admin. So another level up, if you want to look at the whole thing, you should also consider having a backup business manager. Just like, for example, okay, Facebook, for TribeUp Academy, when I run ads for my own business, I have one main ad account, I have a backup personal ad account, and I have a backup business manager that is also having an ad account that is linked to my, TribeUp Academy or Jason Gunn Facebook page. So when shit happens, we all know that shit happens. Facebook can really, like, for some reason, they one day wake up, they suddenly flag you, or some AI shit happen. They can just flag you. They can just, it happens. Okay. One of my most viewed video on YouTube is really those that I talk about when your profile is restricted and all this kind of thing. And a lot of people, after watching those videos, they will leave me nasty comment. And I say that seriously, I say it upfront. Okay, there is no way or no so-called shortcut that I can do to help you get an account back. The only thing that you can do is really to go and talk to Facebook, submit all the document they want, do all the reviews, request for reviews that you can, and try to be nice to them. Seriously, there is no workaround. But this is really something that is happening to a lot of people around the world. Now, this is what I believe why they are doing so. Is it moving forward? Facebook would definitely try to verify you as the real person behind your account. So in order to verify people, one of the easiest way is they flag your account, especially those people like us. We run ads on Facebook. This is a very important thing to us. So the moment they flag our account, they're asking us to submit the ID and all this kind of thing. We will definitely do that, correct? So that's one of the way that they're actually using to get us to submit our ID, to verify our profile and all these sort of things. So this is really sweeping the world right now, but I got it done long time ago, so I shouldn't have any issue by now. So that's really something that you have to get ready. So a business manager gives you a lot more flexibility rather than you use your personal profile, create an ad account that is linked to your profile and run your ads. Now, the moment anything happened to your ad account and all this kind of thing, it's very difficult for you to do the disconnection. And it's very difficult for you to navigate. But when you structure the things inside a business manager, you have a different way to actually, kind of like move things along. So that's a very important thing. That's what I think that you should be considering. Now, especially for agencies, like now, if you work with agency or you are running an agency, my rule of thumb is very simple. Whenever I want to take on a new, back then, when I was still taking clients for the management, ads management, whenever I want to take on a new client, I will tell them that you've got to set up your business manager and you've got to set up your ad account and everything linked under business manager. And I will only come into your business manager as a partner. That's what I do. Now, the benefit of doing so is that the moment you do that, everything becomes clean slate. Now, what will be the horror story behind? Let me tell you a little bit. Like, for example, back then when I was still managing, I actually sometimes I would create the ad account under my business manager on behalf of my client. But I thought I was smart. There was one time I created an ad account under my business manager to run ads for a client. The client said, "Oh, no time to set up the business manager and give me all this bullshit and nonsense," right? So I said, "Oh, I wanted to take the case fast." I would say, "Okay, then no problem. Just give me your access to your Facebook page, and I will set up the ad account on my side, and you tie your ad account." And I thought that's a smart move. I say, "Okay, you tie your ad account to your own credit card." And I was like, "Okay, that's fine, right? It's not my credit card. I won't be paying on behalf, right?" But then you know what happened? Then we realized that this client is really somebody who's, I don't know. There are interesting people out there. So one day, suddenly the ad account payment got blocked and the client go uncontactable. You know what? Actually, they actually spent kind of like not a lot of money, but 1,000 plus in ringgit. Not a lot. I mean, 1,000 plus in ringgit, and they canceled the credit card, or kind of like they reported loss for the credit card. So the ad account, the amount, couldn't charge to get that credit card. It become unpaid balance. Now, when I have a hanging balance in the ad account under my business manager, you know what happened? I won't be able to create a new ad account, and I won't be able to do a lot of things in my business manager. I need to clear that amount. But then again, that client went uncontactable. They even went all the way to actually cancel their credit card. Obviously, they won't be picking up my call. So I had to pay for the 1,000 plus in order to regularize my business manager. So you have to be very careful when you are dealing with external party. So if you're an agency, I really urge you to. In fact, I actually, towards the later part of my career as an agency, I actually charge my client for an onboarding fee if they don't have a business manager account, which means I will be there. I sit with them for an hour. I guide them to set up the business manager and do all this linking together. Then only I come in as a partner in the business manager. Is what I do. Seriously, it's quite important. Now, if you are an agent, if you're a client, it is also beneficial for you to build your own business manager and you allow your agency to come in as a partner. Now, the benefit is, you just imagine, it happens to a lot of my students or coaches that comes to me and say that, "Jason, we have some issue over here." Why? They allow the client to create the page I mean, they allow the agency to create they created a page themselves. They have control on the page, but they don't have the control on the ad account. They don't have the control on the ad account, and they definitely will not have the control on the pixel that is linked to the ad account. So when you have this kind of scenario, then you will be in the dark. That's the first thing. You won't know what your agency is doing for you, whether are they doing the right thing, or whether, I mean, I'm not saying that agencies are that kind, but there are different people out there. You don't even know whether your agency is spending as what you are actually you pay them for. Like, let's say if you ask them to spend $500 a month, you don't know whether they are spending fully or not, because you are actually leaving it up to them, because you don't have access to the ad account. So that's a very dangerous thing. So that's one thing that I want to actually prime you, where you want to have your own ad account, because then you will know what the agency is doing. In fact, some people will say that, oh, the agency do not want to do this kind of arrangement. Then I will say, this is personal opinion, I will say, then I don't think there are many agencies out there. You can look for TY. Okay, there are many agencies out there. If they are reluctant to do this kind of arrangement, then you probably want to consider again whether you want to work with them or not. Because why? The moment you're not having control on your ad account, you will actually not have your control on your pixel as well. You just imagine you have been using the pixel to run ads for your website, and tracking and all this kind of thing. And one day when you part ways with the agency because you don't have access to the ad account and the pixel, you lose all the data. You've been running ads for 6 months, for example. It has accumulated so much data in the pixel or in the ad account alone. You lost all the things, and you need to start from scratch. And needless to say, you definitely will have to go back to your website, reconfigure the pixel. And now, you know what's the problem? If they have already verified the domain on behalf of you in their business manager, things will even get a lot more complicated, because a verified domain, a domain can only be verified under one business manager. So let's say, for example, your website, yourcompany.com, you get your agency to set up everything, the ad account for you and the pixel for you. And because they need to do all this, the iOS 14 aggregated event kind of thing, right? They need to verify your domain. So once your domain is verified under their business manager, one day you part ways, you want to get everything back. You know what? You want to get the domain back, you need that agency to let it go, to release, to approve, to let go from their side. Then only you can start your claiming process on your side. It's crazy, in my opinion. All these can be, reduced to zero work by just going with your own business manager. That's the right thing, because the moment you part ways, very simple, just remove them as partner and you gain the full control. And they won't be, because they only come in as partner, they won't be able to sabotage any of your account. So that's the right way to do. Yeah. So if you want help on the business manager side, you can actually go to my courses and look for, facebookads.com. tribeupacademy.com/courses. I have one course specifically talking about business manager. It's a very powerful course. Okay, so you have to learn from that. Okay, now before I proceed to the second point, wow, I'm so sorry I went a bit long-winded a bit. Oh, okay. So we have a question from TY. So the question is, it's not advisable to create a dummy person profile, to create a page and make the business manager. So what would be your advice for the corporate clients asking for an employee to create a Facebook page, making the page owner, creating a new business manager? Now, it is okay for this, because you see, even though the business manager is created by the employee, okay, you can still transfer, because let's say, for example, the employee created a business manager and the boss is also an admin in the business manager. So one day when they go, right, they can actually remove the employee as an admin in the business manager. You can. It's actually okay. I've seen such cases. So business manager can be transferred. Can be transferred. The ownership can be transferred, but you can't use a new or dummy account. So you see, in fact, if you look at it closer, there is a workaround. Just get somebody to create that, and then you can actually own the business manager, and even to remove the person who originally created the business manager. So that's how it works. Okay, TY, thank you for the question. I think this is a good one. So business manager is the number one thing that you need to get right. The moment you want to start right on Facebook advertising, you need to get your business manager right. Okay, so let's come back to this. Now, the second point is you really need to get your Facebook pixel set up properly. You see, very simple. Now, Facebook pixel, if you do not know what the hell is that, okay, it is a string of code that can be installed in your website, and in turn, you're able to track, as in like, those people who have visited your website or who have purchased on your website and all that, and first to track, which is you can actually use them to create custom audiences, which is very important, because if you want to run ads, you must master the custom audiences side of the whole thing. You see, a lot of people spend a lot of time looking for the interest targeting, the detailed targeting, or whatnot, blah, blah, blah. In my opinion, okay, the master plays with custom audiences. You know what? Because if you know really how to segmentize your audience and you know how to actually play them well, you're able to build an entirely different kind of advertising strategy, which is something that I've been teaching for the longest time. So but nonetheless, pixel is just one of the ways for you to create your custom audiences. Okay, some people will say that, oh, that means that nowadays we have this iOS 14 issue and all that, I won't be able to track 100%. In fact, you won't be able to track 100%. Moving forward, even worse. Like now we have iOS 15 coming up, and then I heard that Android is implementing similar thing on their system as well. To actually, the privacy thing will only get stricter and stricter moving forward. Okay, but don't worry, Facebook will definitely do something to actually kind of like, work around and find ways, because that's their bread and butter as well. So you need to get your pixels set up for the first reason, because you want to track them. You want to understand who are the people who actually visit your website so that you can retarget them or whatnot. Pixel is also very important for you to do your tracking, like attribution. When you run ads on Facebook, for example, you want to track whether how many purchases or how many people who submitted lead and all that on your website. If you want to use the conversion objective, you got to have a pixel set up. Now, nonetheless, let me say this. If you have a website, you bloody need to get your Facebook pixel set up. And not just Facebook pixel, you also need to set up your the Google Analytics as well. Now, a lot of people came to me and say that, Jason, die now. iOS 14 killed my ability, and all these iOS, people actually opt out. I won't be able to track anything. I won't be able to measure my ads performance right now. But look, here's the thing, friend. Facebook pixel, they never say that it is an analytical tool, right? So what will be the right analytical tool? Go to Google Analytics. Like all these platforms and not that iOS 14 or Android, moving forward, nobody says they will block Google Analytics, because rightfully, that is a tracking tool. Tracking tool means if you want to find out how many people went to your website, added to cart, and end up purchase, and where is the purchase attributed to, whether it's coming from YouTube, coming from Facebook ads or Google ads and all this kind of thing. Now, that is the job of a Google Analytics. Now, Pixel is definitely, in fact, they used to have the certain ability to do that, but now because of the iOS 14.5, it actually, discounted the ability in a way. But nonetheless, when you have a pixel installed, that actually allow you to do all the gathering data and all this kind of thing, the tracking bit. Now, and then you can use your Google Analytics to do the data matching. So you won't lose a thing. You won't lose a thing, right? So that's the thing that you need to really have when you're running ads on Facebook. You need to get your pixel set up, not just getting it set up. You need to actually verify your domain. And remember, I mentioned about that just now. One business manager, you need a business manager to verify domain anyway. So that actually validates this thing. You want to validate your pixel, you want to validate your domain, you verify, you need to have a business manager. So this is actually comes hand in hand. So once you verify your domain, then you're able to create an aggregated event, which is very important for the post iOS 14.5, and data analytics tracking in the Facebook Business Manager, Ads Manager. So these are the things that you have to get it right. Now, don't ask me how to set up Facebook Pixel, because there are 4,653 different website builders out there. I don't know. I made up the number anyway. I believe it's more than that. There are so many different website builders out there. Different website builders will have a different way for you to integrate your Facebook Pixel. Right. So you need to actually get to you. Whoever who's helping you to build your website, just give them a call and say that I need to install my pixel. And in fact, most of the website system right now, okay, where most of the website system right now allows a very simple integration. You only need to insert your Facebook Pixel ID, then everything is taken care of. That works for Shopify, that works for WooCommerce, that works for SiteGiant, that works for Easy Store as well, if I'm not mistaken. And a lot of website developers or website builders out there are like that already. Okay, so you actually, if you're still having a website system that requires you to plug the whole damn code into the thing, then I don't think it's really a website system that you want to keep going for the long term, because it's so old school, man. Seriously, that's like 5-6 years old kind of thing. Like, in fact, I started using plugin like what Chiwa is saying for my WordPress website like donkey years back. I no longer do the code paste in kind of thing anymore. So yeah, you got to really look into that. So Pixel setup is really depending on what system that you're using. So you just work with your developer or just work with your service provider that should be able to guide you through. Okay, now before I proceed to the next one, guys, I'm having fun today. I talk a little bit too much, so if you don't worry. Now, Chiwa is saying you can confirm my claim the spanking ad account will not be able to create business manager right away. Yes, correct. You won't be able to create a business manager with a new profile. You don't do that. Okay, and Ken is asking, what is the average time frame for any ads to gain traction for the AI algorithm to learn the targeting well? Okay, now, thanks for the question, Ken. Okay, basically the question is not much related to today's topic, but nonetheless, let me give you a quick one. You need to at least get 50 conversions. If you talk about, you want to let the AI complete whatever learning, because in order to exit learning phase, okay, you need to have at least 50 conversion. And when you talk about conversion, it pretty much depends on your objective. Now, if you're trying to get people to visit your website and you're using the landing page view as your, measuring or your so-called your optimization, then you need to get 50 landing page view. If you're going for purchase, then you need to have 50. So I would say if you want to, let the AI learn complete in 50 conversion, okay? So that's how it works. But nonetheless, depending on also how much you are spending and all this kind of thing. So I hope I answered your question. There are many ways to look at this question. There are many ways to answer this question. Anyway, Ken, thanks for the question. And Eric was saying you need step-by-step guide to set up Google Analytics instructions and training. In fact, step-by-step guide should be provided by your service provider. You get what I mean, Eric? By your service provider, not by Jason Gunn. Because the moment I do my step-by-step training, I'm talking about using my WordPress platform. But I do not know what are you using. And I won't be able to teach people about your Shopify as well. So you get this training from your website service provider. Okay, Eric? And now we have another one from Facebook, somebody who actually didn't approve, but nonetheless, thank you for the question. Can the Pixel, installed on e-commerce website? Definitely yes. In fact, if you are running an e-commerce website, then even you have to really get your Pixel set up, because you really have to do all these things. You really have to understand the movement of your audiences as well. Okay, but yeah, you need to not just install Pixel, you need to verify your domain, you need to set up your aggregated event, and you need to make sure that everything is running smoothly, and you start monitoring and all that back end. But of course, also the fifth thing that I want you to do here is you also need to install your Google Analytics, because that's your fallback platform to do your measurement. Okay, so Chiwa was saying the lazy method use plugin. Okay, that's really the thing. So you still do your code. That's a hardworking type. I'm not. I'm just like way too lazy for that already. I don't do that. So yeah, so that's the second point. You need to get your Pixel set up properly. All right, so that's the third point. You really need to understand how to use Facebook advertising objective. Like I mentioned the other day, this is one of the mistakes that a lot of people make. I would say at least 60 to 70% of the Facebook advertisers that I work with, or that I actually train, do not know whether they are using the right Facebook ads objective or not. To an extent, somebody who have been advertising for like years, at least 3-4 years, I'm not sure. Came back and said that, Jason, seriously, do you think I use the right objective? Seriously, it happens. So you see, here's the thing. Regardless, you see, Facebook advertising objective is the first thing you do when you're setting up a campaign. You need to know what are you looking for. Then only you come in and set up your audience targeting. Then only you set up the ad account. So that's a basic structure. Now, if you set up the wrong objective, regardless how well you do your audience targeting and whatnot, how many detailed, I have seen campaigns that filled with like 200 over detailed targeting options. And I was like, seriously, my friend, 200 over, might as well you just drop everything. You're like, as if you're targeting everyone already. Why bother to do all this thing? But nonetheless, I don't want to comment on that. But here's the thing, you want to hear from me. Your objective that you are choosing actually decides the audience that you will be targeting. You decide the audience that will be seeing your advertisement. Very simple. How many of you have been using boost posts and you actually complain about the result that you are getting? Very simple. Let me ask you this question. When was the last time you shared an advertisement to your Facebook profile? Seriously? Because when was the last time you commented on an advertisement? And when was the last time you actually liked an advertisement? Here's the thing. The moment you run an ad, you use the boost post feature, the objective, you will be then Facebook will actually receive the information that you want more people to engage with your post, or to be more specific, to engage with your advertisement. Now, as I asked you that question just now, people like us, savvy Facebook users, we no longer comment on advertisement because we know it's an advertisement. I wouldn't comment. I wouldn't like. I wouldn't even share. I think that's really something that I would never do in my life, to share an advertisement unless it's my own ad. Don't talk about your own ad. I'm talking about someone else. So when we don't take these actions anymore, we will not be seeing our advertisement. And most likely, your audience are not those people who actually like an advertisement, comment on advertisement, or share an advertisement. So that's exactly the moment you start with the wrong objective. No matter how well you drill into your audience targeting, detail targeting, and whatnot, and all that, you will still skew towards the people who are likely to take that action, because that is the signal that you send to Facebook. That's the reason why you really need to spend a good amount of time, really try to understand how each and every one of the objective works. Now, here's one way. I'm just going to give this a quick plug. You really need to join the Evergreen Campaign, because this is a training that I will cover. One part of the training is on the day one, I'm going to cover the objectives, and I'm going to break it down to you how objectives works, okay? And how each and every one of the thing works, and how should you choose them? When should you choose them? When should you not choose them? So remember, this is the link that you send to your friend to sign up for the Evergreen Campaign. Okay, this is gonna be a 2-day live training that's happening over the weekend, Saturday and Sunday. Okay, nonetheless, if you're watching the replay, you can still go to this link, you can still sign up, but we will have to actually announce, we will let you know when will be the next Evergreen Campaign training, because this is gonna happen, because we know that the video when we put it up on YouTube can go a long way, but nonetheless, if you're watching this as a replay, also go to this link and you'll be able to sign up for the next round of this training. Okay, so this is a very interesting live training that I'm doing right now. So that's where we will cover really the Facebook advertising objective. It's so crucial that you must understand. Like I said, 60 to 70% of the Facebook advertisers that I cross paths with don't know which one to choose. And a lot of people actually, even though they thought they know, they're also doing it wrong. Like, how many of you, when you run ads, you straight away go for brand awareness objective and you love it? It's like, oh, it sounds the thing that I need, right? So let's go brand awareness. Build brand awareness first, then only I start selling them things. Bullshit. Seriously. I mean, yeah, seriously. How many of you is doing that? You really need to attend the Evergreen Campaign live training. Okay, now on top of that, how many of you have been using conversion and you're saying that it seems like not getting things? You know what? Conversion objective is not for everyone. And your definition of conversion is not the same as Facebook's definition on conversion. You need to understand the conversion really well before you start using it. So that's what I'm going to cover on the Evergreen Campaign. Sign up for the 2-day live training. So that's the third thing that you have to figure out, you have to get right. Because without understanding which objective is the right one for you, you're going to fall apart everything. Okay? So number 4, this is also something very important and something a lot of people don't even know how to structure this thing. Now, here's the thing. When you're setting up a Facebook ads campaign, the whole simple structure contains of 3 layers. The first layer is the objective layer. This is where you decide your objective, which one you choose. You can only choose one objective per campaign, right? And then after that, whether you want to go for CBO, then you set it over here. And then after that, you go down to your ad set level. Now, your ad set level is where you set your audience targeting. And if you are not using CBO, then you'll be setting your budget, your duration, and everything over here. And then we come to your ad level. Now, your ad level is where we actually create the, put in the creative and all that. Now, campaign, ad set, ad. All three will have their own learning. Although when they work together, then yes. But here's the thing that I want to tell you. Here's the thing. How many of you, every time you want to change an ad creative, you change the entire campaign? Are you following? How many of you who wants to change an ad creative, like let's say, for example, you have completed your September promotion, you want to start an October promotion. How many of you, just because you're changing your creative, because you have different promotion, you start a new campaign altogether? Now, that's not the right thing to do. Because you see, you have been running your ads for a month now. It has accumulated a lot of data. Like a lot of people purchased, a lot of people bought from you, a lot of people submitted lead and all this kind of thing. But next month, the moment you want to change creative, however, you're also using the same objective and you're also using the same audience targeting. But because you want to change a new creative, you start a new campaign. That means what? That means you throw away the entire month of data and start fresh. Of course, you won't be able to achieve sustainability or consistency or predictability in your campaign, because every month you restart the learning, and every month you need to go through the fluctuation again, and wow, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Now, here's the thing that I tell you. I have a framework called the campaign nesting framework, which is I'm going to share also inside in the Evergreen Campaign, which is going to happen on the Saturday and Sunday. And I want you to join me live if you can. First thing first, the replay will be in there in the group. But if you don't join me live, you won't be able to ask your questions right away that I will be answering like here. All right. And the replay will only be in there for 3 days. So 3 days later, poof, everything turns into pumpkin. So don't wait. Join me live if you can. I run it on the weekend anyway. So you come join me. I'm going to teach you a campaign structure framework that I've been using for the longest time to allow you to create a long-term campaign, to teach you how to do the right thing. Like I mentioned just now, you're only changing the creative, my friend. You're still targeting the same people. You're still going for conversion objective and all that. Why do you start a new campaign altogether? Why do you throw away all the learning? So what you should do, you should just create a new ad under the same ad set. But of course, you need to figure out, let's say if it is like you have some exclusion and inclusion, then you need to make sure that it's done right in a way. So that's something that I'll be teaching in these 2 days live training. So make sure you join me. But nonetheless, you really need to understand the Facebook ads campaign structure, which is the campaign, the ad set layer, and the ad layer, how each and every one of them work. And make sure you do the right thing. So that's the number 4th thing you have to make sure that you get right. Okay? So what will be the last one? I mean, like I said, yes, last week we discussed 7 mistakes that you need to make sure that to avoid. But in fact, there are 47 or 49 mistakes. I mean, I'm just kidding. But for this one, there are a lot of things that you need to make sure that you have to done right. But I'm just telling you the 5 most important things, and 5 most important things that a lot of people actually missed and do not do right. So that's the reason why you want to make sure that you come in for this one. Okay, so that's for the structure. And the last one is you need to learn. You need to really have a clear idea about how to plan your Facebook ads budget. Okay, how do you plan your Facebook ads budget? A lot of people, they plan their Facebook ads budget by campaign. Oh, this one I'm going to spend like $100 for for 3 days or 7 days kind of thing. That's what's going to happen. And this one I'm going to spend like $500 kind of thing. But here's how I think it should be working. Agree or disagree? Whenever I do my budget planning, it's very simple. Like let's say for this round, let's say for example, I plan for my client. Okay. What we usually do is we would definitely use back the historical data to see how much we want to make, and then we plan the budget. So let's say, for example, I have my clients, they know that they need to generate 3,000 leads a month in order to hit the so-called the sales that they need for that particular product. So 3,000 leads They work backward. If their cost per lead is about 50 ringgit, for example, then it means they need to spend about 150,000 about that per month to run ads. So spending 150,000, they're able to generate X amount of revenue because they will be selling X amount, a number of properties. That's how the whole thing works. Now, that's how it should work. You need to have monthly budget, if not quarterly. So you got to be sure about this month, what is your revenue target? Let's say if you run an e-commerce website. So this month you want to hit 50,000 in revenue, for example. Now you need to understand, you need to dig back from previous data. What is your cost per acquisition now? So if your cost per acquisition is really sometimes about $10, for example. Now you know that in order to make 50,000, you need to spend about, you need to get about maybe 200 customers. Let's say each customer will spend about X amount of money to make up to the 50,000. So you need 200 customers, and each one will get, you averagely spend about $10 to get one customer. That means you need to spend 2,000. If I make sense. But a lot of people work like how? Jason, is this enough? Is that enough? No, that's not how things work. If you are new to Facebook ads, here's my advice to you. Start running ads with a budget that you're comfortable. Don't worry whether it's enough. Start with the budget that you are comfortable. The minimum is you need about $1 per ad set. $1. US dollar, I mean. So if you are only able to spend $5 a day, be it. Just spend $5 or maybe just $2. Fine. As long as Facebook allows you to actually go through that to set up your ad set, your campaign, you let it run. Because the best way to know how much you need to spend to hit your target is to know how much you need to spend to get one sale. If I make sense, right? So you need to hit the road running, start gathering data, and use your data to make your judgment call for the future. That's the right way. So very simple. Any coaches who comes to me and say that, or any clients back then comes to me, Jason, how much do I need to spend? Then I'll be asking the same question. I mean, how much you want to make? And then how much you actually spend usually to get one sale. That's how your whole thing works. Because the moment you have a very clear idea, like for example, I mentioned just now, if you know that you spend $10 to get a customer that spent $500 on your website, in my opinion, I spend as much as I can. Because $10 to get a $500 revenue, that's how many X I will spend all the way until I hit the ceiling and break. I mean, that's how the whole thing works. That's the right way of planning a budget. But a lot of people actually do it otherwise. I hope today's training gives you a better idea about how you should think about planning your Facebook ads budget. So that's what I have for you today. All right, 1 hour. I'm having fun. I hope you do. So remember, these are all the 5 mistakes. Let me do a quick recap. First thing first, you need to set up a business manager, right? I have gone through the whole damn thing. So basically, the second one is you need to actually get your Facebook pixel set up properly, which is damn important. Understand Facebook ads objective is the third one you must do. And then the fourth one is you want to understand Facebook ads campaign structure. And the fifth one is you need to plan your Facebook ads budget right. Remember, if you want to learn more, which I promised you, I'm going to share with you how to understand the objectives, how to build a structure and all these things. And I'm going to even teach you how to build long-term evergreen Facebook ads campaign in this 2-day live training. Okay, so basically this is where you want to come in and learn. In 2 days, I'm going to teach you everything you need to know how to build your evergreen Facebook ads campaign. So that's what I have for you today. Before I go, let me look at your questions. There are a few questions. I mean, guys, question time. Bring in your questions. Now, this is somebody on Facebook asking for Facebook ads objective to drive traffic to WhatsApp. One must have a Facebook business manager. Like I mentioned just now, you can run your ads using your personal Facebook ad account. But however, I would recommend that you have a Facebook business manager because you have different benefits, which you can actually rewind back when you go back and watch the replay. I talk about that in my first key point. Now, you want to drive traffic to WhatsApp. There are various ways. One of the ways is you use traffic and you use the WhatsApp API link to drive them over. Now, the other way is to use the messenger objective and you use the WhatsApp messenger. Now, in order to have that, you want to use the WhatsApp messages objective, you need to have a WhatsApp business account, if that's what you mean. So it's a different thing. Okay? So rewind back in terms of if you want to know whether business managers do what, that's where you go. And if you want to learn more about business manager, then I have a different course teaching about that. Okay, now this is also from another audience over here. Do you advise running Facebook ads with e-commerce CPAS? Why not? CPAS is powerful if you know how to do it right. Everything is powerful if you know how to do it right, right? The phone is powerful if you know how to use the feature. If you're only using it for texting and calling, then it's not gonna be like very powerful to you. So CPAS is powerful, like I mentioned, but you need to learn how to do it right. I probably run one training maybe next week. I'll talk about CPAS. Why not, right? How many of you wants to learn about what are the right things that you need to get right if you're running CPAS? It's not a CPAS per se technical training, but I will teach you what are the things that you need to avoid, you know, what are the things you need to do in order to do your CPAS advertising right. Let's do it next week. Next week, we talk about CPAS. Okay, I think that's cool. All right, I don't see more questions coming from you guys, and I think that's pretty much it. Okay, so this is another Tuesday free live training. I do this every Tuesday. I probably will take a break maybe a few weeks down the road, but nonetheless, next week I'm still doing something. So invite your friends to join this Facebook group, regardless which one you're in right now. And basically, you know, let's come in and roll and see how this thing works, okay? So you're saying the CPAS advertising is really headache. You just need to learn how to do it right. You just need to connect the mindset and everything is like a breeze. I set up CPAS campaign like within like 15 minutes. Okay, so yeah, okay, that's pretty much it. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much. And I'll see you next week. And remember, not next week, coming weekend, Saturday, Sunday at 3 p.m. If you're watching this live on the 25th and 26th of September, nonetheless, if you need to actually sign up anyway, so this is the link. Send this link to your friend. Invite your friend to join the Evergreen Campaign Facebook group, as many as you can. So bring them in because it's really powerful, because that's something that I'm going to share with you that your mind will be blown. It's going to be very exciting. So even if you're watching the replay, go over and sign up as well, because we will be releasing the next batch or the next round. We are doing that as soon as we finish this one. Okay. Thanks, guys. Thank you so much. Okay. And I'll see you on the weekend. Thanks. Bye.